So yeah, I'm driving the Ranger more. I got the front fascia off because I'm going to pick up some wiring harnesses, and I found a dash kit and a whole bunch of other stuff. So should be able to figure that out. Yeah. So basically, something that I noticed with this thing is how the eco boost works, right? It's either eco or boost. So like I said in one of my other ones, when you have it in D, it's like grandpa mode, and when you have it in S, it's the sport mode. That's the fun mode, right? So basically D, while you're driving it, it really doesn't want you to goose it, or if you do, it'll give it power. But if you just lay on it a little bit, it'll drive around and try not to hit the turbo and just chill. And the engine doesn't really go crazy. And the transmission just manages the power through 10 different gears, so the engine never really is screaming. It's just, mildly working. Even when you're gunning it. I mean, it's cool how those transmissions manage this power, right? So now when you put it in sport, it keeps it right in the turbo range. So when you hit it, it's boosted. And I didn't really notice it as much before, but now that I got all this front fascia off, and the sound's not being piped in, or there's no insulation from this cover or the radio and all that other shit that's in there, I can really hear that turbo kicking in. And I was just playing with it to get some engine braking going down this huge hill. And when we went up the other side, it's a big hill, and I had it in drive, and it was doing its best not to turbo it, and I was barely pressing the throttle, and it was just below like 2,000 RPM and not turboing. And I mean, I was doing good 50 miles an hour, just motoring up this thing. Like, it was powering right through it, right? And I just threw it in sport while I had it in the same exact foot throttle position, and instantly just up 1,000 RPM, turbo starts whistling, and it's just right there at my disposal. And I mean, it jumped like 15 miles an hour in a second. You just heard that turbo whistle, and there she was, so it's there's not a lot of lag to this thing when you cue it up either. Like, now I'm figuring out how to drive this thing. Like, I was shifting it too, and you can shift it and leave it in a gear and just have the turbo at your disposal too. And the more I learn how to drive this thing, the more I like it. It's really versatile. This transmission is unbelievable. And the engines, it's nothing like this. It's not going to rip fucking trees out of the ground. I mean, it could maybe if it wasn't a huge one, but it's like, I don't know. It's a little 4-cylinder, but it's got a lot of torque and horse, so it's enough for driving around, going to get some mulch and doing some light duty work. It's not bad at all. Usually the turbo will queue up in first gear. It'll just give you a little squirt. It's the weirdest little thing too. And it's like not anywhere else where the other ones will. Maybe it is. Maybe it's just shifting really fast because it's got so many gears. Like, it just leaves first gear so fast, but it gives it this little squirt of turbo. It's funny because it lurches the car forward. I mean, it's there's really, it's not, the engine's not screaming. It's nice. Hopefully the intercooler runs well. I haven't heard it burning or doing nothing crazy or nothing before. It seems to be pretty big. I'm sure there's aftermarket ones that'll do a lot better, but this one seems to be doing the trick anyway, so we'll see. Like, you hear, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it just did it there. I guess it does go past. It went up to like 2,500 and shifted. So the turbo queues up right around 2,000, 2,500, right around 2,500 probably is where it is. And it's kind of nice. So once you get used to it, you can really play with it, you know. It ain't no WRX, it ain't super low to the ground, and you can't really do a lot of, you know, hairpin crazy torque turns and stuff like that. I mean, maybe with four-wheel drive or something, but I'm not doing that on pavement, so it's still pretty exciting, you know. It's just it's a much more versatile platform, but it's still fun to have a little turbo to play with and scoot magoot out of places and on the highway and just, you know, have that little boost there, you know. It's definitely makes daily driving a little more enjoyable. You know, you ain't gonna get the 26 mile a gallon when you're in sport mode doing shit like that, but you know, if you're in the D mode, driving like grandpa all day. So yeah, the tires ain't bad either. I don't know how long they'll last. I'm sure they ain't like great mudders or nothing or excellent snow tires, but they're decent tires. I mean, it's been raining up here for days, and it was super wet, and I did some dumb shit, and they did their job. So, you know. And this little truck too, man, I've pulled out a couple of places, and I was going up a hill, and I started pulling away, and I mean, it was trying to break loose. I think if I didn't have like all the little nannies, like the traction control and all that, I would have laid a nice little patch. So, yeah, it's an impressive little truck. Focho. And we'll see how this stereo install plays out. I'll make a nice video about it. It's pretty easy to get everything off. There's a couple of Aussies that made some videos. It looks like that T6 Ranger is very similar to this thing, so I've been trying to look at a lot of stuff that they got going on. And I think we could even get that wiring harness and deck thing they have too, but it's in Australian shekels, and I don't know, and they won't ship here, and it's just weird. It's like a whole nother market. So I found the fascia kit on Ford.com. Their website, so the one that goes around the Sync 3 anyways, so I'll just hook it up with a double DIN bracket, and then, you know, we should be good. So yeah.